How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Let's Play. My name is System Z as usual, and today is episode 46, part 46 of the Minecraft Let's Play. Can you believe it? Already, episode 46. I remember episode 1. It was seriously over a year ago. I know that because there was a huge period of time where I wasn't able to upload anything because of the move a long time ago, but you know, I've been pumping out weekly content for quite some time now, and it's actually going really quickly, but episode 50 is coming up, and let me just say this, you guys are gonna want to see that. Definitely gonna want to see that. Episode 50 should be, if all goes as planned, a very special episode, and I think you all will enjoy it very much. It's gonna be really cool, and I have a lot of cool editing ideas coming up, and it should pretty much revolutionize the rest of the Let's Play. Episode 50 and beyond will be really cool if everything goes as planned. It's going to be not too much of a drastic change, but it'll be pretty cool. And we're going to be doing something in the episode that I think all of you will be happy about. And a lot of you have been asking for a long time. So, what we're going to be doing today is not what I said we're going to be doing in the last episode. And I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys will understand why. So in the last episode, I said I was going to be working on the farm area where we were going to keep all the animals and have them, you know, open range living essentially all throughout this area, only surrounded by leaves and maybe have a barn somewhere, and that's it. But I've been trying to come up with a design and, you know, shapes that I'm happy with, and I have not been able to do that yet. And I figured, you know, why go ahead and do that? There's no reason we should do that yet, because we don't have pathways. We don't even have that whole thing finished yet. The actual lab isn't finished, so there's no reason to start on something external, at least not until we get these pathways sorted out and everything else kind of fixed up. Now I have really cool ideas for the pathways, and we're going to be doing that soon. But today we're going to be doing something really cool. One of my favorite things is building blacksmiths. And we're going to be doing that today. I actually think in the last episode we worked on this area, and I said I was going to put something down here. And I was stuck on whether or not it would be an enchantment table room or a blacksmith. And I chose a blacksmith. I actually have some really cool designs, and I think you guys are really going to love it. It should be really cool. Now, it's going to be weird. It's not going to follow this same theme. It is going to be pretty weird, but I live streamed this particular build, just an example of it, and people seem to really like the idea. So hopefully the rest of you will as well. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get everything set up here, and we will start this project quite literally immediately, right after I get back. But I will say this really quickly. I believe this episode is airing on the week that I'm gone, so at this time I am on vacation. If you follow me on Twitter, I probably have said something about it, you know, sometime within the past few days. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know this episode is pre-recorded, but very soon after you'll have fresh new content, and I will be living in the new apartment, and it's going to be so much better. So probably around episode 50 will mark not only a really cool change to the Let's Play, but also the channel in general. So yeah, guys, I'm going to prepare for the rest of the episode, so this could be a commercial break. So yeah, I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alright, so I have just a very small selection of materials here in my inventory, and you might be wondering why the small selection. Don't worry, we will be doing a lot more than just placing these few sets of blocks. I just wanted to start with them. I figured it'd be a good idea to kind of work with the corner and, you know, build out from there. So this room is where we will be working, and before I do anything, I want to explain why I'm choosing this, you know, shape and the style that we will build, because otherwise it's going to seem really weird as to why this cobble's here first of all, and there's wood here, and it's just kind of, it's really messy looking. So let me explain. I'm going to start by saying someone who watches the live streams, I don't know if they watch the LP episodes, his name is Red Gear Gaming. He posted a photo on Reddit a while back, and at the time I didn't know he posted it, but he kind of brought me to the awareness of that, and I also saw that it was his username, so I was really surprised. But it's actually a really cool build. I'm going to try and throw it up on screen now, but I'm going to take inspiration from that for this particular blacksmith. I want it to seem caved in. I want it to seem really protected by stone, and like everything's just kind of sinking in. Because if we just had it around wood and really classy, it might seem kind of odd, like things would catch on fire really quickly. This isn't just a blacksmith's room where they might, repair items or something. It's straight up a forging, blacksmith. Like, we will be forging tools in fire and molten rock and melting, metals and all that kind of stuff. So we need to have a really well protected area. So we're going to be doing that with stone. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and start with the fireplace. So this will be the main fireplace of the room. I chose brick because I feel like it stands out pretty nicely. So let's see how we can do this. We need 2 blocks there. And we're going to start with just the rim around the front. So I'm just doing this design. This is actually similar to a furnace I did in a tutorial recently, except these aren't half slabs. Then we're just going to simply put these here facing inwards. And I think those upside down. And that should actually complete it. We'll then kind of place those going up. Now this is going to seem like a huge waste of furnaces, but you'll see kind of why I want to do this here in a moment. We're going to use furnaces as the main wall and down here. And it'll make a lot of sense as to why once we get the fire going, and I can show you an example. And there's Navi shaking off her fears. I don't know if you guys can hear her in the background, but she's a goofy dog. So we're going to put iron bars right there. This is kind of a protective, barrier keeping us from the flame. And while I run up and grab a flint and steel, I'm going to say that I'm sure you all know, but I do have fire tick turned off in the game rule. I don't have any. Oh no, do I even have a flint and steel or a flint? Yes, I do. I'm all good. What was I going to say? I totally forgot. Oh no, I really did forget. Well, that's a bummer. I'm going to have to rewatch the footage to see what I was saying. Game tick, fire tick, right, now I remember. So the game rule, fire tick, I do have it disabled. And, well, actually, let me make sure I do. I'm pretty sure a long time ago I asked if that was okay, and everyone said yes. So let me just make sure. Well, obviously it's set to false now, but so that's the rule. You just do that command, and this keeps fire spread from happening and just kind of protects everything. Granted, there's no wood around here except for that, but it's not going to burn from that distance. And there's going to be wood up here, but it will be hidden, first of all, and again, it won't be able to get it from that distance. But the main thing is, if we didn't have that on, this would burn out, because a furnace is not a suitable block for flame. So that's kind of the furnace. It's always going, and it's going to be awesome. Now, here is why I wanted to put furnaces in it. That way, we can kind of reach it in there, and they're hidden away, and we'll always know that they're there, because there's furnaces in the back. I mean, granted, I could take away the ones in the back, but I just kind of feel like it fits the design. If you guys want me to change that, let me know, and I totally can. Let me move my folder system away so I can see the images. Now I can kind of continue on. I always have, like, images on the side whenever I'm recording, just so I can kind of get a feel for what I'm doing and make sure I'm, building exactly what I had originally planned. So, now that we've got the furnace here, I'm actually going to do something kind of cool. Let me see if I have the blocks over here. Hopefully I didn't leave them all the way back at the camp. We are good. We have the ores here. So, I guess while I'm here, I may as well go ahead and make the actual anvil. So what is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 on the top, I think. So these are actually really expensive. So, I've made a lot of these, and I probably even have a few that aren't even being used, which is really sad, but whatever. Okay, so this one's going 2 blocks in front of there, facing along this direction. And the reason I did that is so that when you come in, you can see it, and it just looks like a really wide open area. And by the way, this is the clean-cut version. This is not what it's going to look like once we're all done. It's going to look a lot cooler than that. But we're going to start by, let me see. We're going to get the diamond, and we're just going to place one right there. And we're going to follow that up with 2 blocks of iron stacked up, followed by 1 gold. And now, I've been wanting to do this for a while. We can finally just break these. And I have a fortune pick, which, by the way, I've fixed up all my tools. I've gotten XP. As you can see, I've got 37 down there. But, yeah, I fixed up all my tools, and now I don't have to worry about them all going away. I need to do the bow soon, though, because it's getting low. And so is some of my armor, but, I'm not worried about that. And look at this. we can go ahead and use the furnaces. And the cool thing about this is they're not gonna, burn the actual items, so it's kind of like a secret. I could technically store loads of coal in there, especially if this was a multiplayer server, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna leave those there for now. The next thing I'm gonna do is I need to go get some jungle wood, which actually gives me a moment to show you guys my awesome chest. I've been keeping organized so that way I don't have to cower around for logs and stuff like that, as I've been doing in the past few episodes. It's finally, it's about time that I get prepared. I actually do not even need this jungle wood because I've been keeping the blocks that I craft and have extra of like that, so that's awesome. Really happy I didn't even have to do that. Okay, so this is actually going to require a crafting bench as well. I can just make one of those with these, and we'll be set and ready to go. So what I wanted to do with this blacksmith is I wanted to create a story, a process, as if there was someone actually down here working. And you'll see what I mean by that here in a moment once we get everything all set up. The next thing we're going to do is put a, stair facing that way and make like a table. So this is really inspired by Red Gear Gaming's photo on Reddit. And you'll see why. Or you probably already see. Hopefully by now I've put the picture up on screen, or I have put the picture on screen. I don't know. I think I'm actually missing a few materials. I thought I was prepared, but I guess not. Oh, good. Our crack. Did I just jump? Our stone's done. That was a really, really funny looking jump there. How do you make the? Okay, perfect. All right, so we need one of those. I need a flower pot. Oh no, I don't have any more brick though, but I know where I can get some. So what I'm gonna do is go and grab some of the stuff that I'm gonna need to finish this table, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, I've got about everything I need. I was just about to run back when I realized I was about to forget something that I would have been really upset about forgetting, because otherwise I would have had to run all the way back. And let me tell you, having to run back and forth constantly gets very, very, very tiring. Not like, realistically, but just in game it gets so boring. The pathway is not, clean, and it's just I have to parkour pretty much to jump around, and I really need to come over here one day and make a proper path through everything, because one of the things I always wanted to do is make sure all builds are connected in some way, whether it be through a tunnel through the nether or just something like this, a way to get around really easily. And I noticed something about this lodge while I was thinking about that, and let me go ahead and explain. So we just built that bridge, right? Yeah, we just built it, and I realized it leads all the way from over here, and it goes to this pathway here. But this actually doesn't go anywhere. It just kind of leads you here and then leads you through the farm a bit. Like, this is seriously nothing. It just leads you down here, which I don't even use this. I really need to, because this would be a perfect place to get food all the time. But it's more for aesthetics. But it just kind of leads you here, and then you have to just jump down or take the stairs. So what I think I'm going to do soon is come back here and actually finish it. I actually saw someone said they really liked this house. It's more of a lodge, but I could see it being a house. I had some really cool ideas for this place, but unfortunately, it just time got the best of me. And, I'm going to talk about that here in a moment, but time is pretty much all that stopped me from this. Like, I really like this place. It's just, I'll explain it. But we're going to go ahead and get things going here with the blacksmith. I'm actually really liking how this episode is turning out, guys. I don't know if you realize any difference in how I'm filming it, but I have just a tad bit. I noticed that I'm building, and whenever I get into a period of time where I'm all like babbled and don't know how to talk, or don't have anything to do specifically, or have a lot to do, I just kind of cut. I'm not like overwhelmed and sat in a position where I'm going to look like an idiot and just babble on. So I think that's the best way to do it, just to cut out all of the nonsense and, babbling, and I think you guys will enjoy that. I know I feel more confident that way. So hopefully, everyone likes it. But we're almost done, actually. We don't have much more to do other than just general decoration, which might take a second, but it won't be too hard. We do need to do this upper area still. But what we're going to do, oh man, I'm really happy we have this crafting bench here. We're going to start by making a few oh no, I need to grab some sticks. So we need to get just something to use. I always have sticks in my inventory. I don't know why I don't now when I actually need them. We're going to start by making 2 armor stands. I always forget how to do these, but there we go. Cool. So we need 2 of them. There we go. And we are just going to pop one of them here and one of them here. I might have to remove these soon, though, to put a block under them, but for now this is just fine, just to kind of get a feel for where everything's going to go. And then the next thing I'm going to do is create a item frame and just pop that right there. Then followed by a flower pot, and I always use acacia saplings for the flower. I just really like the way they look. They stand out really well. They're not too dark, not too bright, and it's a really gorgeous looking piece. I really recommend using acacia saplings in flower pots. It just looks really nice, and it's a nice shade of green. It really complements everything. And the next thing I'm going to do is throw down a weighted pressure plate. Now the reason for this is because it's like this anvil here, right? This is where you'd beat the weapon and kind of shape it, or the armor or something. I don't know if this would be useful, but I feel like it might be good for like carving or something, like designing some sort of thing. Or maybe this is just a piece of paper for blueprinting. I don't know. I just thought it looked really nice and kind of worked with the theme. So the next thing I need to do is grab a cauldron. But while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys kind of what I mean about time getting the best of me. One of the things that has really stumped me with this series and all series on my channel has been time, and here's what I mean by that. I upload every series on a weekly schedule, meaning you only get 1 episode a week of each series. I don't like that. Trust me, you guys are not the only ones. I hate that. I always have. I love making videos, and I love making videos consistently. And having to do them, well, I guess it is consistent, but having to do weekly videos makes me lose interest, because whenever I get excited about something or like gain really cool interest and I'm all excited to do something, I want to do it right that second. But when I do weekly videos, it keeps me from doing that, and it's something that I always hated. But as I'm sure you guys know, it's kind of something that has been a requirement. I've had to do this for the past few months. Before I moved in with Ashley and my roommates, I was living with my dad, and he didn't care if I recorded. I didn't care either. I was just fine with recording while he was home, and had no problem. But now that I'm here, it's just kind of hard to record and not like disturb anyone. Not that they've ever complained, but just a respect thing. I don't want to do it in front of them, like, just because it's kind of weird. I mean, it's like people vlogging in front of other people. Sorry, I'm just making sure I have everything here before I begin with designing. Oh, right. Okay, so this is one of the cool things, is I was going to put a sword right here. And I've also got to put, like, armor on these armor stands, but I'll do that on my own time. I think we're actually done. I just need to decorate, and I'll do that here in just a moment. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Whenever I move, it's going to be a lot better. Like, this is a very serious moment. I've been talking about it so much these past few episodes, but now I'm really going to just kind of put it all out there and explain. Being able to just be me and Ashley. When she's home, I'm fine with recording. In fact, I'm fine with her being in an episode. Me and her are talking about doing something soon, and like collaboration-wise. I mean, she doesn't have a YouTube channel, but just her being in a video, a lot of people would enjoy that, and I would. She knows what I do. She knows there's actually people on the other side listening, and I'm not just crazy. I'm thinking about putting an armor stand, or not an armor stand, a piece of armor there, but it would clash with this too much, so I kind of don't want to do that. By the way, don't mind me. I know I'm not doing anything. I'm just kind of looking around to make sure that everything is in place. I need to put some stairs there. Can I use these? I doubt I can. Oh, snap. That's awesome. I can. But yeah, being able to be moved out. She'll be off at work a lot, and I'll just be able to film whenever I want. And I've been seeing a lot of comments saying, please release videos more often, release more tutorials. And I want to. And I'm going to. And it's going to be great. Everything I've said over these past few episodes has been kind of leading up to that. And you guys know the whole story. I'm sure you're tired of it, but I cannot stress it enough. It's going to be amazing. But anyways, guys, what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to get everything designed. Actually, no, one thing I need to do is go ahead and finish up one of the rooms here. Or maybe I'll just do that on my own time. I'll go ahead and do that now. Just to save time, I am going to cut, and I'll show you guys whenever this place is looking pretty cool. But these are the main pieces. So here we go. Ooh, you guys are gonna love this. Seriously, you guys are gonna love this. I already love it, and I'm not even looking at it. It's awesome. You guys are gonna love what I've done to the place. It's really cool. So let's go and roleplay this, okay? I'm gonna give you a small tour, and through that, we're gonna pretend that we are a blacksmith. So I've decided that this place is really not a laboratory anymore. Of course, I'll have all my basic survival stuff, but I want to theme it. And to do that with a kind of a lore backstory kind of thing, we're going to call this the Adventurers Guild. Maybe we'll have a few guilds throughout the entire world, but this will be the lodge for the Adventurers Guild. And that's kind of why it looks really cool and mysterious and, hidden away. Maybe this is a really secret little landmark that not too many people know about. And once you're invited, you're welcome to use its tools and, its story kind of. You're an official member. So let's say that I'm the blacksmith. I am the guy who works on your tools if they need to be repaired, or you can buy, tools from me or something. So I come into work one day to the unfinished lodge. Don't tell anybody, it's not done yet, but it will be very soon. And we come on over here and go downstairs, right? And you can't see in yet because there's no windows or anything, and there won't be any windows. I'm not going to put any windows here. That would be really weird. But we come on through here, close the door, put our hat and jacket up just like any normal worker would when they come into work, and bam, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love the way this looks. Everything's all caved in, not so clean, and it looks like a proper workstation. It couldn't be wood or anything like that, because as I explained in the beginning of the episode, if I were working with hot metals and had just one little piece of something on fire fall down on the ground and it were wood, it would burn the entire lodge down, and we can't do that. We have to be protected and protective. So we have this, and let's just assume this is a vent, and all the smoke's going up through there. Let's just pretend that this is a vent and that this wouldn't be filled up with smoke and we'd die. How morbid. But yes. Okay, so on with the role playing. Let's say that the mining company that works in association with the Adventurers Guild one day brought us some ore to extract and build a sword and maybe a set of armor out of. So let's pretend that this ore here doesn't just give us one ingot. Maybe it gives us a few, like 4 or 6 or something like that. And we extract all the ore, and we get to the stage where we got to make a weapon out of it, like a sword. So we come over here and heat up the metal really, really hot, get it glowing red. And we come over here and cool it really quickly and run to the anvil and just start welling on it with a hammer until we get the shape of a sword. Then we run over here and get it all built and put together with the handle that we created, maybe over here at the carving station and all of that. And then when we're ready to ship it off or sell it, we break the item frame. Nope, we put it right in there. And that's pretty much the story. That's the role-playing kind of, like the story. Yeah, the story of the character. That's his job. And I think it turned out awesome. Everything in here has a reason. This whole table, it's an actual workbench. This furnace is actually being used. This cauldron is here for a reason. The anvil's here for a reason. The armor stand is there to kind of, I don't know, it could be decoration, or maybe I'm working on armor and I, put the armor on there. And the ore is there for a reason because it's pending extraction kind of. And it's just awesome. The only thing that kind of doesn't make sense is how everything's caved in, but that's just kind of what I wanted to go with, and I think it turned out awesome. Also, here's a quick tip. You might notice this carpet here and how it's slightly glowing, but not too much. Well, if you're familiar with shader packs, you'll know that if you put glowstone under carpet, it's going to shine like crazy, assuming the shader pack is set up to do that. I don't like that. I think it's too like noticeable, and it's fake, really. It looks horrible. So here's the tip. Just place it 2 blocks down, pop 2 transparent blocks on top and a carpet on top of those, and you're good to go. You might notice it's kind of uneven. We've got full blocks and carpet. I just wanted to make it look like a rug that's kind of all scuffed up and stuff, and I think that really helps with that look. But yeah, I've hidden those around, even down here, and you can barely notice it. And guess what? It actually works. If you go in F3 here, you'll notice that the lighting is still above 10. even down here. So we're not going to have any mobs spawning anytime soon, which is perfect. But anyways, guys, actually nope, even the stairs are good. Nope, there it is. There's a 10. But even 10, they won't spawn, I don't think. I think it's like 7 or something like that. But anyways, guys, my name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome. I hope you have enjoyed. I know I have. This has been a very fun episode, trying to get the perfect view. Oh, that's perfect. But yeah, let me know what you think of the blacksmith. I think it turned out great, and I think you guys are going to love it. I know the people in the live stream did back when I showed them an example. And hopefully this turns out, you know, up to everyone's expectations and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, my name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Perhaps comment on the video if you have any suggestions for the world, or maybe you want me to do a tutorial on something I did here. I don't know. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching.